Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show, Friday, November the 14th, 2014, with another eBay video. And today's topics that we're going to be discussing will be, again, as the title says, how to respond to an eBay global shipping program problem. More about the troublesome out-of-stock option, troublesome for some. More about best offers, meaning the new best offer option. A little news about Google Hangouts and some other eBay trivia that's going to come up. For those of you who don't know me, my eBay Motors user ID is Hubcap Joe's. I've been on eBay since 1999. I'm a top rated seller, 100% feedback. And we get together every Friday to discuss eBay topics and exchange tips. Let's start out with a few current events, if I may. This is not eBay related, but I thought you'd want to know this. I blew out my transmission the other day. Can you believe it? I drive a Chevy, a late model Chevy, not even an old one. And it blew out the seals in the transmission. I couldn't freaking believe it. So I took it to the dealer, and of course, luckily everything's still under warranty. GM gives you 100,000 miles on the powertrain. But I'm really shocked that the thing blew out so soon. And I was talking to the tech at the service area because I wanted to go in and watch what he was doing. And he actually had the transmission apart while I was there. And he said that it's actually a notorious problem from Malibus in my generation. Let's say from, I think it was 2010 to 2012. They had this notorious defect. So if you drive a car 2010 to 2012 Malibu and you haven't had any transmission problems yet, expect to blow a seal in the near future. But don't worry, it's under warranty. Of course, you'll lose the car for about 2 or 3 days, but what can you do? But that's my little news for the week. Let us now discuss eBay and eBay topics. Some time ago, a few months ago, I opted into the global shipping program, and I've been cheering it up. Well, I've gotten my first snafu. Not a huge thing, but I want to explain to you what happened, and I want to show you something. What happened is, I sent an item to Mexico through the global shipping program, a hub. All right? I ship it out, gets to Kentucky, and by the time it gets to the buyer, he contacts me and says, Joe, they made a mistake. FedEx delivered me a computer keyboard, not a Ford hubcap. So obviously there's a mistake at the Global Shipping Processing Center in Kentucky. How they can confuse a computer keyboard and a Ford hubcap, I don't know, but they did. So the buyer was really nice about it. He wasn't mean or nasty, and he even apologized. And he had a bit of a language barrier because he was using Google Translator. So any of you who've used that know it doesn't always come out the way it should. But I totally understood what he was saying. And I told him, I said, listen, no problem. I said, it's very easy to get through this. You have to open a case through eBay. And I explained to him how to do it. You have to go to My eBay, purchase history, find the item, and then open the case. And he was very compliant and understanding and reasonable, and he opened the case. So, I would have thought that I would get an email from eBay saying a case has been opened against you, like you do here with eBay in the USA. But I didn't get that. I will read to you what I did get, if I may. Okay. Dear Joseph, I'm contacting you on behalf of eBay regarding item number blah 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 that you recently sold to your buyer. I understand that your buyer hasn't received the item yet. I know how inconvenient it is for you to have a case filed against you, especially when you've provided tracking number that shows the item has been delivered. Let me help you. I see you have been with eBay since 2002. Actually, I've been with them since '99. Being able to maintain an account for such time is really impressive. I think this was written overseas. This only shows how confident you are with eBay. I would like to thank you for doing business with us throughout the years. Regarding your buyer's concern, I'll be placing the case on hold for 3 days for the buyer to provide more information about the item that he did not receive. After the hold expires, we will close the case based on the information we have. I trust this information helps. Thanks and have a great day. Now, it is my understanding, and I know I'm right on this, that if the tracking number, the tracking information shows that it was delivered to Kentucky in good order, in good shape, that we as sellers are covered. I know that for a fact. And Griff is always talking about that on eBay Radio. And I do believe I will be covered, but if you read that letter I just read to you, it's a little bit more, I don't want to use the expression circumspect. It doesn't exactly promise us anything. It doesn't say, don't worry, you are covered. It leaves you hanging in the air, like you're not sure if you're covered, but you think you're covered. I think really I would like to see them improve the wording on that. You know, again, I'm not complaining that I don't think I'm covered, because I'm pretty sure I am. Not pretty sure. According to eBay rules, I am covered. But I'd like to talk more about that next week when this is resolved. I gotta wait 3 more days, so I'll know something beginning of the week. Again, it's not a big concern. Even if through a freak of nature, you know what, I wanted to show you something. Sorry, one more thing. I knew there was something I was leaving out. Now, by chance, this is important, that's why I'm doing this. By chance, I decided to check my eBay and see if the case was opened after I received this, okay? And sure enough, it was opened. I will show it to you because there's something you got to watch out for. This is very important. I don't want anybody to make a mistake. All right. Let me see if you can see this. See this blue button right here? It's the only clickable link, and it clearly says issue a refund. Here's what it says. eBay customer support has placed the case on hold until November 15th to allow time to provide additional documentation. If you issue a refund now, the case will be closed and you won't be held at fault. Do not, I repeat, do not issue a refund here for the global shipping program, because you'll be screwing yourself. That's not how it works. That is misleading. Do not issue a refund if you have shipped through the global shipping program. What you have to do, very simple. If your buyer did not get his item or got it and says it's broken or anything, he must open a case through eBay. You do not refund. Capiche? Just tell the buyer respectfully, you need to open a case through eBay. Go to your My eBay, click on Purchase History, find the item you bought from me, and from the drop-down menu, you can open the case from there. It's not hard, and eBay says they will protect you. And that's in writing, and I believe that they will. But again, if you look at that case, it's misleading. It's telling you to give them a refund there and you won't be held responsible. Don't do that. Don't give the refund, guys. Listen to Joe, okay? I think eBay is experiencing a little growing pains right now with the global shipping program, and I'm really hoping that they're going to fine-tune it in the near future. And of course, when I put the computer back, I left my notes on the desk. One more little bit of trivia, not related to eBay, but I want to tell you about this. I got the new iPhone 6. Yes, I've got the new iPhone 6. I traded in my old 4S, and let me tell you, it makes all the difference in the world. I highly recommend the iPhone 6. This is not the 6 Plus, this is the regular 6, okay? The 4S was slower than a turtle. This thing is much, much faster. You'll be happy you switched. I highly recommend the iPhone 6. Now, let's talk about the out-of-stock option that I've talked about the last 2 weeks. This really has me mystified. So mystified that yesterday, Thursday, I called in to eBay Radio to discuss this, okay? The out-of-stock option is actually a pretty good idea that they have. It's to help protect a lot of your listings from losing their stature that they've earned when your items have sold over a period of time. So what I mean is, like with me, let's say I list a quantity auction for one Buick hubcap for $40 with free shipping, and the quantity is 6. All right, one sells, another. Every time one sells, that gives it a boost in visibility, and that's good. Now let's say I'm down to my last one, all right? And someone buys it. Oh man, they just bought my last one. I've got 5 more in the back. I didn't add them to the store quantity. So if I relist it or if I sell similar, I do not gain the stature that that previous auction had. The idea is to keep the stature, to keep its rating. So the out-of-stock option, if applied, would help me. Whereas if I did stupidly drop down to 0, which is something I do quite a bit, it would basically put my item in limbo for, I believe it's 1 month, I think, giving me time to replenish the items in my store. So let's say I added 5 more hubcaps to that listing. All right, bang. I would start off with the stature that the item has earned and attained. I think it's a great idea. But my complaint is, a few of us, only a small amount, are not able to take advantage of this wonderful option. Thomas, I know he called in. Gary has called me on the phone about half a dozen times. And somebody else. I forgot who the other person was that was moaning. I'm sorry if I forgot your name, but only a small percentage of us can opt in. So I called eBay Radio yesterday, and I talked to Griff, and I explained the situation. And he was really mystified. And he said to me, Joe, he said, just send me an email, and I'll look into this myself. I said, Griff, I'll do better than that. I'll send you an email with a screenshot of my account so you can see it. And, you know, but it mystifies me why it's happening. And I'm not sure. Is it some kind of a technical glitch? A couple of people suggested that eBay was rolling this offer out little by little, but I don't think that's the case. I think it's available to everyone. However, certain accounts are not able to take advantage of this, and that's what I want to get to the bottom of. So hopefully next week, right here on the Crazy New York Driver Show, I will have an easy fix for you guys. My gut feeling, I think they're going to tell me to call in and speak to an account specialist. Because I heard a musing through one of the Facebook groups where someone else had this problem. It was someone who I didn't really know, and she said that she actually had to call in and they had to do something to her account in order for her to enable that option. I think that's what's going to happen to us, but hopefully I'll be reporting next week on that again. Also related to the out-of-stock option is another option called Best Offer. I'm not talking about Best Offer when you list an item on eBay for, let's say, $50 with the best offers accepted. You know, you may take 40 or you may take 30. I'm talking about, let's say a customer looks at your item and writes to you about that item. Let's say you're asking $50 for your item and he writes to it. There are many people that have the option to send the person a best offer even if the person's not actually accepting best offers. I do not have that option. And the people, Gary and Thomas, I think are the same people that do not have that option. It seems the people that do not have the out-of-stock option cannot also send out best offer options. I want to know if any of you guys have had any experience with this. What concerns me about it is something Gary told me. He told me that a person had sent him best offers on his item and he never got them. So after about 2 or 3 days, the person contacted him and said, hey, I sent you best offers on the item. Are you going to accept it or not? And Gary says he never even got the best offers. So I'm wondering if those of us who have been excluded from best offers are being given best offers, and those best offers are not arriving in our box. Again, this is just conjecture on my part. I'm going with a little hypothesis and with what Gary told me with his experiences. So if you have any input on that, guys, you know what to do. Google Hangouts. For a long time, people have asked me if I would ever consider doing a Google Hangout. And you know, I'm getting so many emails and I'm so far behind in responding to you good people that I think that's going to be a good idea. I think it's something I'd like to try. So what I'd like to know from you guys, if I was going to do a Google Hangout on a given night, would you guys be interested in participating? What it would require of you, if you want to come, is just you have to have a camera and a mic. Many computers today come with that already. My Mac has a camera and mic, and that's what I'll be using. So my question is, how many of you guys would have any interest in attending a Google Hangout with me, where we'll be discussing eBay and PayPal, that kind of stuff? And if you are interested, do you think it would be better if I did it in the afternoon, let's say around 4 o'clock from here, or later at night, maybe from my house, maybe 8 or 9, and give you people time to get home from work? I'm thinking if I do it, I would have no more than maybe, at tops, 6 people per hangout. Because I don't want, 15 people screaming and yelling at one time. We'd be drowning each other out. I don't want too many. I'd rather do a lot of small hangouts than one huge one. I want to accomplish as much as I can. So guys, what do you think of that idea? Would you be interested in attending a Google Hangout with Crazy New York Driver? And if so, do you have a particular time or even a particular day you think would be best? I'm kind of leaning toward maybe a Friday, but again, Friday's the day I put up my eBay video. So I don't know. Sundays are definitely out. That's probably the only day I would definitely rule out is a Sunday. I'm not home and I'm way too busy anyway. But any other day is up for consideration. So let's rehash what we talked about today. We talked about how to handle an eBay global shipping program problem. I've been in the program for 2 months. This is my first problem. The problem lies with the fact that the third-party shipper mixed up my order with somebody else's and my customer got the incorrect item. It's not his fault, it's not my fault. eBay says they'll cover us, and I believe that they will, although the email I received was a bit circumspect, as I read to you earlier. So if you have any comments about that, jump in. Also the out-of-stock option, which is a real bummer, because it seems as though only a handful of us can partake of it. But I'm pretty confident that by next week at this time, I'll have an answer for you guys as to what to do, because Griff is on the case as we speak, and he's proved helpful in the past. Also, best offers, that goes in conjunction with the out-of-stock option, because I think only those who have one problem will have the both problems. And lastly, of course, is the Google Hangouts. If you're interested, type your interest below. I'd like to know, because if no one wants to do it, then I won't do it. But I think it would save a lot of time, and hopefully, you guys would come on screen, get to meet each other, fraternize a little bit. If you're an eBay buyer or if you're an eBay seller, you're welcome. Everybody's welcome except haters and stalkers, which means in the whole world, there are only 2 people that are not welcome in my Google Hangout. Not bad, right? Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Crazy New York Driver, and you're not. Hopefully, I will see you here next Friday for another edition of the Crazy New York Driver Show. Thanks for watching. Hope you make some good sales on eBay this week.